What I was saying was
Continue.
what I was saying. I'm trying to remember what. So let's go back to
You're
even
scared
10
about
years.
DMV
ago.
now.
No,
Yeah,
let's go
you're worried
back
about
to
it.
10 years ago when you couldn't download a movie in a minute. You know what I mean?
It's true.
People had more
Remember,
patience.
that's just when the
for
codes
certain
were starting
things.
to come out to download a movie.
Right. Some people, their attention span, because of that, they're so used to getting things instantly, myself included. I've noticed that when I go back to Snapchat, when I go to load memories on Snapchat, and it doesn't load within like the first 3 seconds,
Oh,
I
you get
start
pissed
to
off?
get antsy.
Yeah.
I start to get antsy. I'm like, I'm ready to... Why isn't this loading? You have it saved. You better load it soon. You just loaded the last half of the video. Get this on my screen now, and I'll admit it's a problem. Whereas when the internet first appeared, people were just happy to be able to use it. It wasn't like, oh, I could download my movie in less than 60 seconds. Whereas now,
I think Pop 2K on Sirius XM says it best. Pop 2K, downloading 2,000 whatever. It does that.
Anyway,
anyway,
back to, so I started the point, you finished the point.
Yes.
I'm thinking just convenience factor. I think people like convenience factor of anything. Let's
Right.
rephrase the term. It's more effectively or more valuable.
My Pop 2K listeners get me.
So
You're
people
out there.
use
You're out there.
people use things that are quicker and easier, and like chats and text and Snapchat and Messenger are sometimes easier than email. Like email for me literally consumes my. People also have people, if you like-minded like I am, have a hard time separating work from just personal time, and so I often find myself checking email just like I check text messages, and it's like not 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm checking my email. It also takes a significant amount of time for someone that has a job and that works. Like that's a full multiple hours of my day is literally spent checking emails, putting them in the right folders so I don't lose them. Tracking conversation. Is this
guy organizes his emails.
I have
He's a
to.
freaking wizard.
Checks his emails.
Putting him in spam and replying to him. It's literally like it's not. It needs to be written in the job descriptions because it takes you 2 or 3 hours a day to do that when you have a job. And having a job, a whole other topic.
Right. No, I completely agree with you. I think that we've all gotten to the point where we don't want to wait for things. And like you said with email, it takes
instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Awful thing.
But emails also take more time than other things too. So that's why
Emails also stall to send too. They're not direct.
No. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I think email's not going away. I think there's a place for email. But what I'm saying is like I find people kind of migrating away from it to other things because it's quicker and easier and more convenient. And email is very convenient. Don't get me wrong. I do not want to go back 30, 40 years and not have email.
Carrier pigeon.
It is very good. I'm just saying just the convenience factor of other things, people value convenience.
Do you think that we'll see certain things that were once, even for us, considered new technology, and I think we will, become kind of like older technology that's more of a novelty to us?
Tablets. Look at tablets. Look at the tablet sales back in the early and mid 2010s and look at them now. Dropped.
Really?
The only people that are really using tablets now are in your art communities for like they're going to school for that. I do know that architecture uses them. And then you have the decent amount. There's still a decent amount of people that use them for like taking notes and stuff now too.
The children who sit
kids.
at restaurants with their just absolutely brick-laden tablet
But you know
case
what? You know why?
and can't entertain themselves with their crayons that are provided for them. Were you one of those kids, Aiden, that sat there with their tablet?
I was the one that could either sit there quietly and be a great little boy, not good, great,
Okay.
or I did my crayons or whatever. I was
the fact that they have tablets now on certain restaurant tables,
exactly. It's
awful.
mind-boggling.
Going back to the parenting episode 2 weeks ago, I mean, parents don't know what to do with their children if they don't just put them in front of the screen.
We don't want to
It's
get on the
insane.
topic of parenting.
Okay.
$2.99. Sure, you can play us at Olive Garden for the next hour and a half.
It's insane, but to my point, tablets, okay, to an extent, but I'm talking like email and some of those different things.
So you're talking like more
social
platformish
platforms, some forms of technology. For example, Polaroid cameras, right? There's kind of a novelty to having a Polaroid camera.
There
You
is.
literally just snap the picture and it comes out, right? Obviously, it's not as efficient, so to speak, as
But
digital.
that's also the weird thing. That's a weird thing with our culture is that we also enjoy that because it takes a minute to come out. Watch it come out, guys. Like, but we also
But I
want
think
the instant
some of us are
gratification, and it's weird.
It's instant gratification of having it there physically. I think it's also a novelty
It is
to
novelty.
have it physically because we're so used now to everything being digital that when we have that Polaroid camera, same thing with like video games because I collect old video games. I like if they have the new Retron systems, right? Where you have like a Nintendo entertainment system, a Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, whatever, all built into one thing. They can play the old cartridges. They come with their own custom, classic-looking controllers. I will not buy a Retron because I have a personal. I want to play it on the old system from the '80s as it was first released.
That's respectable.
Do you think that type of thing will be like, oh, everybody's using Google Hangouts now. Isn't it cool to go back and use this 30-year-old email program? Do you think that will be the case, or do you think with the way apps are updated that they just won't be supported
Not
anymore?
email. We're not email, right? That was just an example.
That's an example.
Okay.
Yeah. If Vine still existed, and I know that's not nearly the same length of time since Vine has been around, but if Vine still existed in some form, I think people would still use it.
I need to pick my brain on this one. So we're mainly referring to apps or programs or stuff like that, right?
It can be anything. If you can think of a physical technology.
Well, the
that is
tablets,
new.
like I said, yeah.
Tablets is a good example.
Yeah.
If you can think of anything else.
Because now
I
didn't
tablets,
get to mention this.
I don't see tablets being phased out as much as you're saying.
But I didn't get to mention this. Have you seen kids now with the bigger phones instead of a tablet? Because we got to get our children phones at the age of 4 now. They have to have their own cell phone number at the age of 4. So now the parents are paying $1,200 to get their kids the biggest iPhone at the age of
you don't
realistically
need a phone number before
8,
you're 14 in my mind, but that's just me.
Agreed. But yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think that
I've seen more kids out at restaurants with big phones that are their own than I have tablets.
I think that's just a symptom of phones going from getting smaller to now getting bigger.
Right, and it's
back
getting
in the
rid of
day
the
it was-
tablet. That's the point.
But I think of tablets and cell phones in that regard as more of the same thing. I guess technically, but I think that they're kind of merging into one.
Yes, and that's what I'm getting
I don't think of them
at.
as a new. I don't think of big phones as a new technology.
Well, no.
But to answer your point, I think in 30 years, looking back at some of the things that we have now, I mean, I think we'll still find it fascinating. But I also find it kind of hypocritical too. So I heard something the other day. Someone was like, I rather use the camera where you had to roll it with your thumb on the click button and then you take a picture and then you go get it developed in the store. The disposable cameras, they're so much cooler than the digital cameras now. On the same token, you're outside and you need a picture. What are you going to pull out of your pocket? Your smartphone. Like you think they're cooler. You think all this stuff in the 80s and 90s was cooler. You're like, this is so much better than what we have today. So much better than what we have today, and you still rely on the same thing now.
That's why I think that there's a distinction between something being cooler, and just being a cool novelty.
But looking back, I think those are cool novelties. Like for me, they were around when I was younger, and now they're not. In just the 15-year period, I would still go and if I were to use it, I think that would be a cool novelty to use and have. And I think that's going to be the same thing in 30 years for things that we use now.
I think a prime example of this is sort of a hybrid of the two in the new smart flip phones.
You think that's going to be one of the novelty things?
I think it's a. I think it's
or you
as
think
a result,
that's them?
I think it's as a
us
result
creating
of,
the novelty.
because I had honestly considered thinking of kind of the same
we've
along
talked
the lines
about
of
this. Yeah,
kind of wanting to get away from the social media stuff. I eventually ended up against it because I don't feel like I need to. But I seriously thought, what if I just got a flip phone?
Yeah.
Right, like a regular flip phone. And I think that there is a certain... You go back and you hold those old Nokia phones, right? Or even like the old Razors or whatever. My dad had an old red Razor. It was like, basically the size of this when it was open, and it 10 a call, you just flip it shut. And I think that those phones are sort of a novelty of returning to that while still having the modern convenience. Mm-hmm. So they're capitalizing on the classic feel of it, like an old Polaroid camera. If you had an attachment, I think that they actually make these. They have Polaroid attachments you attach to your phone.
Yes.
You snap the picture on your phone, and then it prints it out on there. And I think that's a very similar piece of technology where it's combining those two things to give you that novelty while also having that same convenience. They made it more modern,
too. They have miniature printers that you Bluetooth to your phone.
Maybe not totally, but kind of off subject.
Well, it's same like...
Voicemail. This is kind of off subject. Friends?
We're at like 50 minutes now, believe it or not. I could go for a long time on voicemail, but continue. If we continue this, if it gets much more...
Part 2!
Which, we'll do a part 2. I know that Aiden's close-up is completely not recording anymore, but continue.
What? Which one's my close-up?
The camera over there.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I've been looking at that one.
Well,
and I've been making faces in that one.
That's the wide shot. Well, apparently, we just checked the cameras, and apparently that one is still recording.
Hi.
So your close-up is good.
That's good. You can move again.
Anyway, about voicemail. This is a minor
Are we going
to
wrap with voicemail?
We'll wrap with voicemail if we get into something else. Split it into two. So here's
I started this. I would have started off.
This doesn't have to do with what you're about to say.
Okay.
This is just a complaint that I have about voicemail.
U.S. Cellular updated my voicemail.
That, yes. But...
Don't have U.S. Cellular.
Set your voicemail to at least have your dang name. I don't care if you leave an elaborate...
Are you talking about me?
No. I'm talking about anybody.
I haven't set mine up yet because I've been in a
I don't care who you... anybody who does this. I don't care if you don't want to leave an elaborate message like some people. That's perfectly fine. At least... let me know that I have reached the right person. Because when I get the voicemail that says, you have reached... and then it lists the number I've dialed. I know I've reached the number that I've dialed. I don't care that I've reached that number. I want to confirm that the person on the other end of that number is the person that I'm trying to contact before I leave a message regarding their personal information and regarding whatever I have to say to them. At least say the person you called, Linda Johnson, is not available, right? I don't care.
Does not have a voicemail box set up yet.
Does not have a voicemail. That's even worse. My sister has had her phone for like 5 years and hasn't sent her a voicemail.
I'm a caller.
I don't care what you put. Just let me know that I've reached you. Even my brother, he has the one that's like, hello? Oh, sorry, you're breaking up. Yeah, I was actually just kidding. This is my voicemail. Leave me a message. So, and he tricks you with it. So, I don't care. As long as I know I've reached the correct person. That's my 2-minute rant. Go ahead with whatever you're about to say.
Okay. So now we're totally on voicemail, so not off subject. I love So I watched Friends. Whenever I first started watching Friends, I was sitting on the couch. And it was the episode when, like, Rachel's running back and forth on the voicemail. Can't remember exactly what's going on. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
It's the one where Ross finds out, I think.
Maybe, yes. It might be that
the one where Ross finds out.
And,
yes, the actual title.
I'm on it now.
Yeah.
Okay. And, like, you can pick up the phone while they're talking on the voicemail.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Like, I wish we still had that. That is so...
You can with a landline.
With a landline.
Yeah, no one uses landlines anymore.
My family still has a landline.
Yeah, my family has a landline too.
We still have one, but it's not connected.
I mean, I'm not going to pay for a landline because I don't need to.
There's a lot of people that have landlines.
But no, you can, like, you pick it up and they're talking. You're like,
yeah,
so-and-so.
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, I thought that's amazing. And then you can, like, actually just call and leave a voicemail. Which we can still do now, but it's not as convenient, I don't think.
You can call... What I thought was cool that I didn't learn until, I don't know, I was like 7 or something. I saw my mom do it. You can call your home phone. You can call your landline from your cell phone and check your landline messages.
Yeah, we can do that now with the new voicemail that was set up by U.S. Cellular that deleted half of my messages that I had saved on my old voicemail.
U.S. Cellular.
US
Not
Cellular.
a sponsor. And after this, they probably won't want to be.
No, you don't want to
AT&T is
be.
better than they can be a sponsor.
Mm-mm.
That
That made me very angry because I was like,
coverage
okay.
is a little bit different. I usually have more coverage, at least in this area, than my friends with AT&T.
Off subject.
That's off subject.
Off subject again. U.S. Cellular. They used to be great,
They suck.
and I live out in West Virginia, and
Yeah.
now it's like 2013 all over again. When I'm driving down my road, guaranteed there's this one spot. It happens to you all the time. Cuts me off.
For the record, it happens to me while I'm on the phone with him
me,
when
yeah.
he's driving through that spot.
You all know what I meant. He's
If it
just
wasn't for a monopoly, you know it would be better for the consumer if all the companies joined together and made one.
Yeah, when Sprint and T-Mobile joined together.
The network, maybe not the best for the consumer.
I don't think that would be the best for the consumer
because
at all.
because they only have one option.
But why did
to-
T-Mobile
And
get to
and
buy Sprint?
What I'm saying is that they would make a monopoly if it
They
wasn't.
can charge
it
whatever the heck they want,
wasn't for
but
the
their
fact
coverage would be
their
great.
coverage would be great.
But why did T-Mobile get to buy Sprint? Why didn't Sprint buy T-Mobile?
Probably the amount of money they're worth.
I know, but like you would think Sprint was worth more. I mean,
I don't think so.
Didn't the Sprint Cup? Well, they I guess they for NASCAR. It used to be the Sprint Cup,
okay.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think T-Mobile was worth more than Sprint.
Huh.
That's the same way with any merger. I mean, usually
But
the large company has more weight. So
T-Mobile has the worst color though. Like Sprint would have been cool color with all the other.
Yeah, I do think T-Mobile was bigger. I don't know how much
don't
bigger
know.
they were, but I think they were larger
Yeah.
than Sprint.
You guys remember those old Vonage advertisements?
Yeah.
Were they the ones that
Vonage
had
is
the-
still around.
Are they really?
What?
My previous employer still uses Vonage as their primary phone carrier.
That's funny.
I'm showing how young I am now.
You don't know what Vonage was?
No.
Vonage is
It
huge.
was an old
Vonage is huge in
landline
Garrett.
company.
Okay.
It's huge in Garrett County.
That's funny because I remember seeing those Vonage ads and I knew for a fact that we didn't have Vonage and I always felt so inferior whenever I saw those. Were they the ones that had the? I'm gonna embarrass myself here, but they were the ones that had the ad that went woo-oo, 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 woo-oo. Was that it? Yeah, does that ring any bells for you, Aiden?
Can you do that one more time?
He's trying to make me think.
No, but I know what you mean. And I am pretty sure that was Vonage. But yeah, they're still around. It's ironic
That's
they are
interesting.
still around.
That's funny.
Do you have
But yeah, voicemail.
They have an app now. You can like transfer
The Vonage app.
phone calls to your phone, like your work phone to your cell phone.
And
It's crazy.
voicemail.
It's crazy.
Back to
That's
voicemail.
That is crazy.
Back to voicemail.
Were you finished on your voicemail topic?
I like the visual
I think
voicemail.
so.
I like the visual voicemail now on phones that they didn't used to have, like where you can read.
What?
Like Apple, you can read your messages. Like your voicemail.
Oh, like they have them transcribed?
Yeah. And,
Ew.
Interesting.
And like
Ew.
and like well just they call it visual voicemail, but like you don't have to like call your cell phone number and put a password in. You
That
can
sounds
just-
convenient,
you can
actually.
just-
I've never seen it. I've never used it, but
You don't use it on your phone?
I never use it on my
I use
phone.
it on my phone all the time.
Interesting.
You can play the voicemail without logging in or dialing your number.
Huh.
Oh yeah, you gotta
I
pick up.
can't show you now, but
Well, obviously.
I kind of want to show you. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that before. That's interesting.
Huh.
Is that so? That's every phone has that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
I've had it for like 2 years.
That's no.
Yeah. So now I don't have to log in. You can even delete messages there too. So instead of old style having to go, here's my number, 44 blah 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 blah. Please enter your password. You have what? You know how long that takes? Convenience factor. Now you just go, play.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Oh man.
Did you guys ever whenever I was a kid, probably like 5 years old, I always
I thought
thought
you said 5 years ago.
No, 5 years ago. I always thought that
Sounds about right.
that junk mail was somebody trying to sell us junk food. Like candy was junk, like desserts and whatnot was junk food. I always and now that's
Got
not
me
a
on that
joke.
one,
Junk
Steve.
I
Junk food.
genuinely always thought because it was called junk mail and junk food was called junk food. I always thought that junk mail was somebody trying to sell us junk food. And I once asked my mom, I was like, why can't we buy some candy from them sometime? And she's like, what? She was like, no, that just means they're trying to sell us something we don't need, which that's an entire sidebar of scam callers. Here's a
I was
side
gonna
story.
go. I was gonna go there.
Here's a
But
side story. We're
boy.
definitely splitting this into 2 episodes now, but so
Wait, where were you gonna split?
either in the middle or I don't know.
You're just gonna randomly split it?
Well, split it so that it makes sense.
Make sure that this gets in the video, because this is like the inner conversations showing us how this is made.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you, buddy. So, if you're gonna... This is just a note to all scam callers out there, okay? Do I mess with scam callers? Yes. But if you're going to scam call me, you have to actually try to scam me before hanging up. You can't just... And this is what happened... I log on the phone, I press 1 to speak to the representative about my car insurance or whatever, right?
Screen protector. So, he had his phone taped up there with tape.
Right.
He took the tape off and the screen protector.
The screen protector's ripping off his phone now. Anyway, I dialed 1 to talk to a customer representative, right? And they said, hey, what's the, what... How
What's your social security number?
Hey, how can I help you? And I said, oh, I got a call about something, my Amazon order wasn't processed right or something. And he said...
Would you like some champagne?
No, and he said, F you, and hung up. I'm thinking, okay, wait a second. You're at least supposed to try to sell me something or have me give you my personal information somehow, right? I've had plenty of other calls where they'll do that, and then they learn that you're scamming them essentially and giving them false information, and then they'll say F you and hang up. But they've never done it before where they just I don't even want to try to get this guy's information.
Someone called me from Walmart asking for a Walmart credit card or some sort of information, and I said, where are you from? They told me where they were from. I was like, that's great. I said, do you have any Walmarts over there? they said, no, we do not. And I said, do I need to go any further with this conversation? I don't think I have to go any further with the conversation, but maybe you make products that go to Walmart.
Right.
But if there's no Walmart companies over there, then how am I supposed to believe?
I know you all said it before, and it's water under the bridge at this point, but if you can't, this is just a general rule of thumb, if you cannot tell me the make and model of the car that you're telling me is no longer insured, I don't trust you to tell you what the make and model and all my information is.
Do you want me to look down the barrel of the main camera or my camera?
I don't know what you're
Because I have a
about to
message
say.
to toll-free and spam callers.
How much profanity is in this
There
message?
is no profanity.
Okay, look down the main camera.
Because I don't cuss.
Let's just confirm the cameras are still recording before we do this.
No, it's fine. They're fine. No. The message needs to be heard, Steven.
Sure
this is to all the spam callers. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't stop, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So anyway, we haven't done one for the second half of this episode yet. But yeah, I've gotten to the point now where I like messing with them. I used to get annoyed.
I flip it back on the head. When they ask me something, I'm like, what's your social security number? You want my bank account number first? What is your bank account number?
I got told one time when I gave them false information. The guy told me because he was asking for my credit card information and get the discount on something. I don't know. So I just gave him random numbers.
It's been like that the entire time, and I didn't say anything.
I saw it earlier. I was like, do I say something? Do I not?
Zip it up. Oh gosh.
It's been tucked in.
It's been tucked in the entire time.
Tucked in for.
I've seen that for
the entire episode.
35 minutes.
Yeah.
No, serious? You didn't say anything?
Well, did you want me to call you out in the middle of the episode? Well, I guess we just did.
First of all, you did just call me out in the middle of the episode.
It's still messed up on the right side, dude.
Well, I can't see it.
Here, Steven.
It isn't that hard to fix your collar.
It's good. You're good.
Just got this
there
out
you
of the
go.
wash.
Out of the wash.
And we also were here for at least 20 minutes before we started
The
recording.
wash. I don't think it was like that, though. I think you readjusted and then it got messed up.
Must have.
Then we could finish what topic we could finish on. I know you wanted to mix up, and we waited to the very end. Why is Joe Biden your favorite president?
Joe, listen, folks. Listen. Just listen
I
to
don't
me.
tell my story.
Just listen to me here. He's doing great things for America. Great things. He got you another stimulus check when he came in that increased the deficit and is the main cause for inflation. And he upped your gas prices. He's doing a great job.
I did not think that's where that was going.
That's not where I thought that was going either.
I thought it was going to some kind of memory joke.
I don't think. I'll be honest with you.
What's wrong with his memory?
I don't think that was a good impression of Joe Biden because you formed a complete sentence. Anyway, so
What's wrong with his
back
memory?
to my story.
What's wrong with his memory? He is fully capable of handling his office.
With
We can't get this political.
someone else running it for him.
There's no one else running that
You're
office.
allowed to say because you're actually running for public office, so you're allowed to get political. Anyway, back
We know
to my
he's a
story.
conservative. We know he's a conservative.
That's
Are you a conservative?
I am the host, therefore I stay in the middle.
Get out!
I think
Leave!
it's obvious where I stand based
Leave.
on everything that I've said.
Well, I'm left, so
Okay. Anyway, we're never getting anybody on this podcast ever again. Anyway, so
That's liberal.
back to my. I said we're not getting anybody on there ever again.
I don't get it.
Never
Okay,
mind.
dude.
Maybe I misunderstood you.
What?
I'm definitely cutting that out. Anyway,
no,
back
don't do that.
Good narrative.
Yeah,
I meant
you
the
kill
part,
the fun,
I
Steven.
meant
You
the
know
part,
that.
No, I meant the part where I just misunderstood him.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Huh?
Anyway,
Bum, 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 bum.
gosh, this is the longest we've been recording ever, other than the.
That's what happens when you get me here.
Anyway, so back to my story. He was asking about the telemarketer. In case you were wondering what story we're on now,
So what was your impression about?
the telemarketer.
Steven, do you do yoga?
Do I look like I do yoga?
Well, your computer says yoga on it, so you know what? I thought I'd
We
ask.
could do goat yoga. For his birthday, I'm buying you a gift certificate to go do goat yoga somewhere.
What is goat yoga?
It's huge now.
Huge.
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 Huge. Yeah, but they don't know. They have goats there. They have goats climb on your back when you're like downward dog position, and I'm dead serious, not making this up whatsoever. It is a legit real thing that they do, usually in liberal
Awesome.
cities.
This podcast is about culture.
It's
I
not
gave
that
him
choose-
fake numbers
It's not that I choose to run.
on my card.
It's that I have to run.
And then he said,
To protect
here's
the
how
city.
you get the special discount.
To be a symbol.
You know the chip on your card.
To be
You take that card.
vengeance.
And then he told me where I could put it.
You know they're so short on like chips for card, like actual cards.
Yeah, because of the supply
I've
shortage.
told my story. You can say whatever you want.
My economics teacher and I talk about that all the time. Steven, no one really was listening to your story. They were listening for us to interject into your story.
Absolutely.
All 30 of our viewers. I guarantee at least 5 of them.
This episode's gonna get 67
5.
viewers.
Because I'm on it. Because I
67
You will
just
broadcast.
I pulled
67 views in 1 week.
67 views in 1 week. Now, that's the question. Which episode is going to get more
69.
viewers? Because this is now 2.
Well, the first one.
Yeah, it'll be the first one.
67 plus.
Because everyone will be like, oh my, Aiden's really off the hinges on this one.
in 90 plus on the second one.
Oh, and
Okay, so
I'm
then I'll
glad-
up it. 30 people cared about what I had to say. Anyway,
Am I just bet, folks?
put it in the comment section if you cared what I
Put,
said.
put, a
in my
little,
story.
put a little money down on this bet.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care if what am I trying to say? I don't care if anybody wanted to hear that story. I wanted to tell it. So,
We appreciate it.
can we wrap with this one story?
yes.
I want to pull it up.
Should I interject every 5 seconds into your story?
No, because this one's about culture.
Culture.
Culture. Let me see if I can find. Talk about something while I find this.
Arizona tea.
So-
Not sponsored, but could be.
Aiden's hair today. My gosh. Did he
Look at
even
that.
try?
Oh my gosh, has that been down the entire time?
Yes, it has.
That's
Would you have liked it if I called you out in the middle of the
That's
episode?
aggravating. Ugh.
Your collar's messed up, Aiden. What happened?
Quit bullying me.
That's not true.
Cobra Kai,
Thank
Cobra
you.
Kai, Cobra Kai.
Oh,
That's true.
man. So, do we want to wrap with this?
You go right ahead.
Okay. So Donald Trump. This is not even a. It's not a political story. It's a funny
It
story.
automatically is when you're.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Trump could say that the sky is blue and it would become a political statement.
Well, CNN covered it, of course. But, anyways, so this would be something that he'd tweet on Twitter, right? Go and bring it back full circle. So, he made a hole-in-one the other day.
Yes. So
Did you hear about
I
this?
watched the video.
You watched the video. The video is fantastic. The The written response was 10 times better. Did you read that?
I did not read the written response.
You didn't read that. Okay. Let me see if this has the full quote. But he has this little thing online called The Desk of Donald J. Trump, and I guess this is where he put it. But here it is. This is what he said. And this is what we're missing on Twitter, people. This is why I was on there for stuff like this. And the quote is, many people are asking, so I'll give it to you now. It is 100% true. While playing with the legendary golfer Ernie Els, Gene Sars, Ken Duke, and Mike Goodis, I made a hole-in-one. It took place at Trump International Golf Course Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, on the 7th hole, which was playing...
Pause it for a second. Are you trying to do a Trump impression?
I'm trying to do a 50-50. I'm not going full in.
half.
So you're
Yeah.
not doing 100%.
No, I'm not doing full in.
All right.
Going back, which was playing 181 yards into a slight wind. I hit a 5-iron, which sailed magnificently into a rather strong wind with approximately 5 feet of cut, whereupon it bounced twice and went clank in the hole. That's the stuff we're missing, people.
For the office of the 45th President of the United States.
I hit a 5-iron, which sailed magnificently into a rather strong wind. It's my favorite line.
If that's not a note to end on. A 2-part episode. So at the beginning of part 1, I said this will probably come out the 3rd weekend in April, depending on our recording schedule, since we're now switching this into 2. If our next guest is able to do it next week, we'll probably release their episode first.
Well, I was supposed to be on
Before
next week,
yours.
so it works.
So it might happen like that, depending. You might be seeing this the 4th
We
week
might
of April.
see it, and there could be a space in between something
Could be
else.
a space in between. We
Then
don't
come
know.
back. We did Jacobs. There was a big gap.
Yes, we're gonna try and that was
see, this one-
that was a little bit different because we actually recorded this one
Yeah, that's
all
true.
in one. But regardless, we'll split this
The
into 2.
conversation kind of flowed too much, too, to, like, kind of cut it. Like, and do it a separate, like,
I agree.
be
Yeah.
person A, then person B, and then back to person A.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably what we'll
We should
do.
invite Trump to be on the podcast.
We should. He was on. What was that podcast he was just on? That was.
He was on some, they call it, like, a weed smoking podcast, and it got news coverage, of course, you know.
Right. Because it's Trump.
Yeah.
Um.
Because
Yeah,
that's
so
all
we'll probably-
you can make money off of.
We will probably. We went a lot of different places tonight.
We did.
Um,
That's exactly what I wanted. He didn't want it. I wanted
I
it.
didn't say we do. I said that the last
I
couple
enjoyed
times
it.
I enjoyed it too. The last couple times we've tried to just go off the rails, it's gone off the rails and it hasn't worked.
50 minutes, though, that wasn't the plan, but, you know.
It's
It's
we're at
now
an
an
hour
hour.
and 10 minutes now, but for the people watching, it's only like 30 to 45 because
Yeah, and most podcasts are actually longer. Some podcasts are
some
longer.
podcasts go for like 2 hours, so we're doing okay.
Some have 3 or 4 parts to them.
And
too.
now we have a multiple week buffer, which is perfect.
Yeah.
You got a lot of insight
welcome.
into the subject matter tonight. Let us know your
No.
opinions on whatever the heck we talked about. Let us know if you have an interest in the Making Sense with Sensabaugh.
in the comments, guess if we're liberal or conservative,
Guess if we're liberal or conservative or
You all
libertarian.
I'm liberal.
or Green Party, or independent.
Did you write that on the back of a VeggieTales
He
poster?
did. That's what I found first.
Our studio's in the basement of an old church building, and we're filming in the Sunday school room, so it makes sense that we would have found that in here.
This was a Sunday school room?
It was a Sunday school room.
Huh.
Yep.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole.
What?
What? All right, now we're just rambling. We got to close this out before we do something else. But
I'll be back.
thank you guys for watching. We'll be back at some point. Do you want to?
Let's just say the next time you see me, it will be with very little hair. Next time you see me, it will be with very little hair. I haven't decided if I'll be wearing a hat or a toboggan, but there will be no hair.
And you might have a different attire. Maybe.
Maybe. I should be bigger. One would hope.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be slightly taller.
He's going to UFC, folks. He's using his
He's
skill
gonna fight Conor
for
McGregor.
That's
mixed
right.
martial arts.
That's right.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to let us know your opinions on whatever the heck we talked about in these last couple episodes.
It's really Space Force, let's be honest.
He's joining the Space Force.
And let me know if one day down the road you'd like to see some type of making sense with Sensabaugh. I'm pitching it because it's my thing. It's my
on our podcast.
On our podcast.
We'll let you pitch it for...
It's our thing, dang it.
No, it's my thing.
Is your non-existent podcast going to sponsor us?
Okay, so now I have to give royalties to my coach for making the title, and now you guys for pitching it.
$50 a plug.
Making sense.
He plugged it 3 times, $150.
With Sensabaugh. It's a good title. It's got a good ring.
I don't know how to end this. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.